everybody. Well, unfortunately, I fucked up. So the video that you're about to watch, I recorded the day before I left for vacation. I am now hundreds of miles away from my house. As you can see, this looks nothing like my house. Because, yard and actual house. Unfortunately, that means that I can't actually re-record this video, and I need to get it out by Monday in order to stay relevant and to keep the upload schedule consistent. So I messed up while recording this video. The menus and everything is fine. During the actual gameplay, my processor was choking out the recording, so unfortunately it drops frames in faster paced scenes. I am horribly sorry. I would love to re-record it, but I just don't. I didn't realize it until I got here, and I have no way of re-recording it here, which means that I can't re-record it until like a week or two from now, because I've got other stuff going on, so even by the time I get home, I just won't have the time to re-record it, so I have to upload it now, and I'm horribly sorry. Please leave your comments down below about how awful the video looks. Just keep in mind that it is not the game that's running this way. You can see my FPS and the performance indicators up in the corner. You can see that the game itself is actually running at 120, 140, 160 FPS. It's just the recording messed up because I suck. I didn't test it correctly, and I didn't verify after I recorded it if it actually worked. So, apologies. The video is still really, really, really good. Lots of good information. I go on like a merciless. I get 10 kills. It's a good video. It's just a little choppy. So, sorry.
All right, how is everybody doing today? Today we're going to take a look at one of the more controversial games, surprisingly. You really don't think it would be, but then it do be like that sometimes, unfortunately. So Modern Warfare is the latest entry in the Call of Duty franchise, heralded by Studio Infinity Ward, creators of Call of Duty, who have made a triumphant return in ways to the Modern Warfare franchise, to the Modern Warfare game type, to however you really want to look at it. This is heralded as a return to form by some people. Other people refer to it as a unplayable, buggy mess. So we're going to take a look at it. We're going to figure out which of the two extremes is right. Is it left? Is it right? Is it somewhere in the middle, like it usually always is? Let's dive in. So the PC port itself is actually fairly good. It does take place on Bethesda's, God, I just had a stroke. I'm sorry, guys. On Blizzard's Battle.net service. On PC. It is a Battle.net exclusive, at least right now. There is crossplay between PS4, Xbox, and PC. That is a toggleable feature. It is control input focused. Not required, but focused, and we can get into that in a little bit. There are 3 modes, unlike last year. Last year, with Black Ops 4, it did not have a campaign mode, and it did not have a co-op mode. Those make a return in this game, as well as the star of the package, the multiplayer, which is going to be what we are focusing on today. I will be talking about the campaign and the co-op in a later video. That will probably be in a few weeks from now. I have played the campaign. It's pretty good. Probably one of the best Call of Duty campaigns. It has its striding moments that just make me go, whack. But all in all, it was enjoyable. It was satisfactory. Have not really spent a whole lot of time on co-op, mostly just because I want to play with people, and I just haven't really had a chance to spend a lot of time on that. We've been spending time on multiplayer. And of course, multiplayer is the hot ticket item right now, so that's what I'd like to spend some time talking about. But before we get into that, we should probably dive into some of the extraneous stuff, such as the options menu. This options menu, you can tell, took a lot of... basically, it's taking the Black Ops 4 options menu, which was already fantastic, and it's building and expanding upon it. It uses the same mouse curve. It's got the same relative or legacy for ADS sensitivity. It's got invert options. The same tap toggle features, completely rebindable keys for basically every action possible. It's got things like minimum weapon switch delay, so you can make sure that your weapon switch is as responsive as possible. You can disable weapon switch wraparound. You can make it, like, this is something cool. You can make it so that way weapon mount, you can make it toggle, you can make it hold, you can actually change it from the keybind to a different feature. Like if you just ADS near a corner, you automatically mantle. If you ADS and then melee, it will mantle. If you double tap the ADS, it'll mantle. Like, there's all kinds of options here. And of course, all of these options come together in a way that PC doesn't typically get from console ports. And it's really nice to see the work that went into Black Ops 4 not immediately going to waste the next year, which is something that's happened with yearly installments before. It's happened before in Call of Duty, and it's really nice having some of that be consistent from year to year. I'm not going to go too far into detail here because most of this is just key binding and stuff, but it is, like I said, it's very in-depth. You can even change things like vehicle camera recentering. Very in-depth. Very nice. The important stuff, though, is the general and the graphics and the account tab. We're going to start with general. So this is where you set the overall controller input or keyboard and mouse input for the entire game. Now, the reason why this is important is because when you pick one and you matchmake into a game, you are locked into this input. Now, currently, there are some ways to cheese that to where you can force yourself to be mouse and keyboard in a controller-only lobby, but I don't feel the need to do that because I end up in controller lobbies in certain game modes often enough. So it's not that big of a deal, and to be honest with you, playing against controller players is not an instant... it's not a sign that you are instantly going to win. Aim assist is incredibly strong this time around, and PC does not get any aim assist, so obviously that helps balance things towards controllers. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of sweaty people on PC for sure, but believe it or not, there's a lot of sweaty people on controllers too. But we'll get into the meta and stuff like that later. You have your field of view options. I don't know why mine was adjusted. Let's change that back. Something that I really like is that if you are in a different aspect ratio, this number will actually change, and it will tell you that what your real field of view is. Because if you don't know, these numbers are defined for 16 by 9. So if you're playing 21 by 9, you might set 100 FOV, but because it goes longer, you're technically seeing more. So it'll say like 116 or whatever the math works out to be. And it also gives you a vertical number, so that way if you play a game like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Battlefield, CryEngine does this, certain games will go by the vertical FOV, so you can convert it that way too. Brightness is a hot issue because people don't seem to be able to read. A lot of screenshots I see, people will crank up their brightness like this, and you see how it kind of washes out everything. It's not going to wash out the menu, but they will crank up the brightness like this, so that way they can quote-unquote see better. That is not how this works in the slightest. This game is very dark. This game has dark corners. This game has dark areas. And cranking up the brightness doesn't increase your visibility. It just kind of washes everything out. So you might be able to see somebody like a half a millisecond quicker if you crank up the brightness, but you're going to wash everything out to the point where other stuff starts to blend together and it's hard to pick out individual details. So please, for the love of God, actually follow these listings and just play the game correctly. You're just making it worse for yourself for a perceived advantage. You can adjust things like heads-up display bound, so you can make it so that way the left and right are more centered or they're more far apart. Same thing with up and down. You can make it more centered or farther apart. Actually, I think I'm going to reduce this a little bit. I typically kind of do like a safe zone thing. So let's see how that works. Subtitles, colorblind. Unfortunately, it seems that the colorblind filter that they're using is just a screen filter. It doesn't actually like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's an overlay. It's not like actually rendering the color difference. It's just a cheap overlay. So I haven't really heard any complaints. I'm not colorblind myself, so some people say that it's some people say it's fine, some people say it's not. I don't know who to believe what you want. If it works for you, cool. If not, then we need to push for better accessibility for people, because more options that work are better for everybody in the end. Subtitles, I actually recommend you turn off if you're playing multiplayer. This is one of the first Call of Duty games. Black Ops 4 did this as well, and it was actually kind of frustrating. Subtitles would pop in multiplayer, where in every other game they didn't. At least I didn't play Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. I didn't play World War II's multiplayer with subtitles on, so I can't speak to them. But the announcer would have subtitles. And it's really annoying when you've got like 47 people in game shouting different things out and them all getting subtitles, and it's distracting. Campaign, I always have these on. Co-op, I always have these on. Multiplayer, I turn it off. I would recommend you do the same, but hey, you do you. Like I said, more options are great, and if they work for you, great. Speaking of more options, you can disable the profanity filter. Thank fucking Christ. You can also disable the dismemberment and core effects in case mom's in the room. Dismemberment doesn't happen in multiplayer, unfortunately. It's a single player only thing, which I get. Memory and synchronizing dismemberment across the network would probably be a logistic nightmare that I don't even want to think about. Text chat, you can disable text chat. This is very important because text chat's kind of bugged. There are times when people logging in and out or previous rounds worth of messages will just stay permanently on your screen. It's really annoying. Wish you could fix it. Unfortunately, there seems to be nothing to do right now about it, so we just gotta wait for Infinity Ward to fix it. It's also really frustrating because you'll go play campaign after playing some multiplayer and you'll just get chat messages stuck to your screen. It's really cool. And that's also why the toggle is there, to turn it off, and also so that you don't have to listen to people be elitists. And you have a lot of the same widgets that you had in Black Ops 4. These are actually way more useful because they are larger and more readable. And yeah, like I said, you're going to see a common theme of a lot of the stuff was in Black Ops 4 already. So if you're familiar with that options menu, you're going to be at home here. I am playing in windowed while I'm recording because it makes things easier. Some things are a little weird, like having display resolution be like hidden under render resolution. I'm not sure I agree with that. I've run into some bugs where I go full screen, but the game will actually be borderless full screen, so I have to kind of alt tab out into a window and then tab back in for it to go full screen. When you are in a window, it will cap your frame rate to your VSync, whatever that would be. Most people will be 60 FPS, but if you have like a 144 hertz monitor, it'll cap to that. It's actually incredibly annoying because if you're playing in a window, then you get the forced VSync, like I said, increased mouse delay, and that can just happen mid-match, so it gets really annoying. Unfortunately, since I am playing in a window, I'm going to have forced VSync, so if I suck, I'm sorry, it's the input delay. That'll be my excuse, and the fact that I have to talk while I'm doing this. You can do different aspect ratios, which is kind of cool. I was experimenting with non-standard aspect ratios, and as long as you have it on automatic, the game seems to be fine. I haven't really noticed any details, but I haven't gone like super in depth with it. I will say that it supports things like 32:9 pretty freaking well. It supports things like 16:10. It supports things like 21:9. If you set it to one of those aspect ratios when you are playing in a different window, it will just crop, which is slightly unfortunate, but I understand why they do it that way. So like, for example, I can do 32:9 and it crops like that. It's unfortunate because this actually gimps your resolution, because it's going to say that the render resolution, you can see it drops down to whatever the crop is, but the window stays the same. So if you're playing full screen, it's basically the same effect as if you have GPU scaling enabled and you have it set to aspect ratio, so it like centers, like if you're playing with custom resolutions. But if you do it this way, this really fucks with overlays and with recording, because it will still record at like it'll bake the aspect ratio bars into the video, which is unfortunate. So if you want to play this to like test out how ultra wide would perform on your rig or whatever, just set it to automatic and create a custom resolution that has the widescreen aspect ratio rather than using the built-in cap. Just leave this on automatic and let the game do its thing. Outside of that, there's really not a whole lot more I want to talk about. NVIDIA Highlights is present. It's actually kind of nice. Things like Fury Kills, Sticks, Collaterals, Popcorn, Regicide, and I want to say one or two other will pop automatic NVIDIA Highlights. If you've ever used the NVIDIA Highlight system, it's really nice. The only thing that I don't like about it is that I can't actually find just the raw highlight video and upload that. I have to use the overlay to like upload it to my Google Photos account, which I can then download and send to people. It's really annoying. So I hope that gets fixed. And there's a few options like color space, which if playing on a TV is really nice. That goes into the brightness thing. And then you've got all the crazy options. Some things I haven't really noticed as affecting performance as much, but they've really harmed visual quality, like particle quality. That needs to basically be on high. If you put it on low, it looks like you're playing a PS1 game, and it's actually more distracting than I find performance and performance saving. Some features like tessellation here, I typically play with it off. I'm going to play with it on while I'm recording, just so that way everybody can see like maximum quality footage. But yeah, I typically play with that off because that just kind of eats performance when, like, I like my game to look pretty, but if I'm playing a competitive shooter, higher frame rates are better. And you've got the obvious stuff, shadow map resolution, caching options, particle lighting. DirectX ray tracing is here, and you can enable it on a 1080. It's very, very, very subtle because Modern Warfare uses it for shadows, not for lighting. The shadows look way freaking better, and like it makes a lot more sense to your brain, but I'm also really used to rasterization shadows, and those hand-placed shadows, like they may not be quote-unquote realistic, but I've been dealing with them in video games for 20, 25 years now, so it's like your brain kind of gets used to like how they're wrong, but they're acceptable because of how often they're wrong. It makes it okay. It's really weird. Basically what I'm trying to say is turning on RTX is not going to blow your goddamn mind. It's not designed to blow your goddamn mind. It's just there for that extra layer of immersion. And if you are not playing on a RTX card, there's basically no reason to enable this. It will half your frame rate for something that is an extremely subtle after effect that you're just not going to notice in a fast-paced Twitch shooter. If you have an RTX card, fuck it, go ahead and enable it. It's basically going to be free for the most part. Obviously, there's some performance hacks there, but the tensor cores in the RTX cards will chew through that, and you're going to get like orders of magnitude better performance, because like I shit you not, you can go from 180 FPS down to like 40 in some scenes if you enable the DirectX ray tracing. So if you got it, enable it. Otherwise, just don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. You're just missing that extra like 3% of edge case realism. Which, if you're playing a video game, probably don't care about. We're not going to talk about that. Ambient occlusion, I typically leave off because it eats performance and just kind of fixes like some of the edge shadows here where lighting sources meet. Screen space reflections is usually really nice. Filmic SMAA T2X, I feel, is a necessary evil in this game, because playing it without, it just looks super jaggy. Like, even at high resolutions like 4K, everything just looks jaggy. So I feel like that's playing at a low resolution like 1440p. Or maybe even like 2100p or something like that, and then having the SMA T2X looks better than a full 4K with no anti-aliasing. There are different strengths. SMAA, normal, and then temporal 2X, and then Filmic temporal 2X. Filmic is the best in my opinion, and you can also adjust the strength of the Filmic filter. Depth of field, I don't know why I don't have that enabled. Depth of field is a pretty standard feature. World motion blur and weapon motion blur, most people turn this off. It is not the old school like PS2 motion blur. It's per object, I believe. It might be per pixel. I'm really bad at picking out the difference. It's not the crap motion blur. It's the actual like the really nice motion blur. So go ahead and enable that if you want. But I typically have it disabled just for that extra like 2% of performance, just to ensure that I will always be above 60 no matter what. Realistically, playing at this resolution where I am in the window for recording purposes, it's not going to affect performance that much. And you have film grain. If you are filming, turn this off. Actually, most people should just turn this off anyway. Film grain is annoying. We are not looking at film. We are playing a video game. Looking at digital graphics with like fake film looks like shit, in my opinion. And if you are recording, this will fuck your bitrate. And so like it's horrendous how bad this will just molest your bitrate. So please turn that off if you are filming or streaming. Audio mix is for some reason it's another controversial one. Your operatives are shouting all the time. You can hear footsteps from across the map. You can hear subtle changes in like you can hear when people run out of ammo. You can hear when people are walking on different levels. You can like it's really amazing attention to detail in the sound design. Fortunately, people like to bitch. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, I promise. There are multiple different options here, and there's actually a breakdown that shows you the different ranges and different emphases that Infinity Ward puts on this, so that way you can see, like, if you've got like a really crap set of headphones that don't go very loud, you know, you can compensate for that a little bit. If you're trying to play at night, like where it's quieter, but you still want to be able to like hear everything, you can do midnight mode, which is actually really useful. It still lets you be able to hear the quiet stuff like people reloading, while also not having your ears blown out from fucking jet planes squirting across the map and carpet bombing you, you know. I play on home theater. That's what sounds the best with the impedance and the decibel range of my headphones. You can see right down here it says recommended 55 decibels, and then you can go higher dynamic range, and then there's studio reference. Studio reference is if you have like really high-end audio. So 98% of people are not going to be pleased with studio reference. And I'm going to be honest with you, they probably also won't be satisfied with dynamic home theater. I'm willing to bet that home theater is going to be what most people with like decent headphones and sound systems are going to be using. That's going to be 95% of the user base right there. And the other 4% are going to be these four, and then 1% will be studio reference and dynamic home theater. Play with that a little bit, figure out which one works best for you, which situation. Don't be afraid to change that. Toggles for Juggernaut music in case the metal music that plays when you get the Juggernaut suit is annoying. I love it because of how cheesy it is. It's just good, but I can understand why some people want to turn that off. Hit marker sound effects, you can do Modern Warfare, Classic, or none. I do Classic because Classic cuts through the audio a little better, but that may just be because I'm used to it. Don't know, but that's how I have it set. Voice chat, I'm going to leave enabled specifically for this video just so you can hear the toxicity. That is crossplay. Gotta get that authentic console 2019 experience. Gotta channel that authentic Xbox Live 2008 experience. Bring back some memories of playing COD 4 and getting people screaming at you. You can do push to talk, live record. You can set thresholds. You can blah, 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 all that stuff. Don't care. Don't use it. And then of course you got all the console specific, gamepad specific controllers stuff. And then here's your account setup stuff. This is where you can enable crossplay. This is where you can see your Activision account. I'm not going to click on that in case there's something there that I have to blur. You can disable things like Real ID, which is the dumbest thing that Blizzard does. You can also change the hashtag and like the random number that pops up after someone's name. I have that disabled because it's annoying and nobody cares. And you can toggle these just shown so that way you can see where people are and their IP addresses and such. If you're doing some diagnostics, please, for the love of God, if you're streaming or if you're recording like this, don't upload your IP address. Stay anonymous, kids. For some reason my NAT type is moderate. I don't know why, but I have a feeling it's just Call of Duty being dumb, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I've been talking way too long about options. Let's play. The first thing you're going to see here is a conspicuous lack of background. Funnily enough, this is a bug. It is actually rendering the background behind me. I know this because if we go to set, like, let's say, let's just go the full Monty. Let's set 32 by 9. If you do that and then go back, you can see the background here still. It's being rendered. It's just for some reason has this overlay on it. That seems to be consistent every single time that happens. Is only the first time I load in. As soon as I play a round of anything, whether it's campaign, multiplayer, private match, whatever, it goes away. And it doesn't come back until you reboot the game. Very weird. Whatever. Visual bug. Don't care. Doesn't affect anything. So here are your playlists. One of the greatest innovations actually was lifted from Halo Master Chief Collection and their new playlist compositor, which is great. Basically, most of the quote-unquote popular playlists are going to get put into things. And this is a way better way of doing it than having individual playlists, because you can go, oh, well, you know, I really want to play Team Deathmatch. Like, that's like my number one. I love playing Team Deathmatch. But I don't like playing 20-player Team TDM because it's a little chaotic, but I do like playing 20-player Domination, so you can check that. And then it's like, well, and then maybe I'm okay with like the occasional game at Headquarters. And then you can just set that and then find, and then it will find other people depending on their settings. So doing this means that way you're not just like the one dude who's like in the kill confirmed playlist and like nobody else is playing and people have to search in order to find you. And this makes it a little bit more, it's easier to find games is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it in a really dumb way, but I hope you guys understand. Speaking of saying things in really dumb ways, you see this little selected category filtered up here? That R button, that's your toggle for hardcore. Why that's the case, I don't know. That makes no sense. That should probably be fixed. I would also love to see an ability for us to filter hardcore in addition to these other categories. I like the idea. I understand why they don't, because not knowing that you're loading into a hardcore game is really bad, or loading into a normal game when you're expecting hardcore is really bad. But I would love to have the option to also be able to add the hardcore into the rotation. Because I'm one of those, you know, sadistic people who just like to hit the go button and then just whatever I get, I get. And if that happens to be hardcore, all right, I'll have fun. If it happens to be 20-player domination, all right, I'll have fun. I wish we could expand this in the future to also include things like ground war and maybe even gunfight, but you know that is so far off in the future that that's not even worth worrying about right now. So what we're going to do, I'd like to go through some of these playlists. You have special exemptions like free-for-all, which is external, but I guarantee you that'll eventually get shoved into quick play. Gunfight is external because it's its own different thing. Ground war is external because it's its own different thing. And realism, I don't know why realism is in its own playlist, to be honest with you. I feel like that should be a toggle. I feel like that should be a toggle just like hardcore is. I feel like what they should be is that you should, maybe what you can do is you could have checkboxes that say also allow hardcore and also allow realism, and then that way you can mix and match. Like, I want realism 20-player domination, but I don't want hardcore. You can set that up. That would be really cool. That might probably come in the future, hopefully, please. And also, there's no night vision goggle mode, as I'm sure you've noticed. Infinity Ward actually removed that from the rotation. They were just in the TDM rotation, and the community bitched so hard that they actually removed them from the rotation before the game went live in the US. That should say something with how hard these people were bitching. Because they're one of their largest markets hadn't even played the game yet to even get a chance to complain, and they already had to nerf it. So that's interesting. Outside of playlists, you have the new weapon loadout system. Gunsmith is actually really cool, and unfortunately, I can't show you a lot of what makes it cool until we play around. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you my classes here real quick so you guys can kind of get an example. This is my meme class, denoted by the fact that it's called OP. You're going to see a lot of people bitching about the MP5 and the M4A1. You'll notice I don't have a whole lot of time on the M4A1. I find it a boring weapon to use, and I don't really find it that good. Everyone bitches about it being OP, but I think MP5 is way more broken than the M4A1. But yeah, whatever. It's going back to a traditional Modern Warfare to Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 3 style create a class. You've got your categories, you pick your weapon, you can equip up to 5 attachments per weapon, you can equip secondaries, same thing with them, 5 attachments per weapon, you got your 3 perks, you got your lethal, you got your tactical, that's it. Very straightforward, very to the point, and I'm actually really glad to kind of see that make a return over the Pick 10 system. Pick 10 is great, but we had Pick 10 for what, like 5, 6 years, 7 years in a row? It gets old really quick. I'm thankful to kind of come back to just keep it simple, you know? You can also select different kill streaks. There are a lot of variety. They are much better than Black Ops 4's kill streaks, but I still think Modern Warfare 2's were better. In terms of usability. These kind of feel a little hit or miss in terms of if they are actually going to be usable, if you know what I mean. Like, okay, for example, the precision airstrike and the cluster strike, they're kind of dumbfire. You just pick an area and fire and it goes, as opposed to getting the mini map like you would in the older Call of Duty games where you could pick the target and drop a airstrike on them. But that has been regulated to the VTOL, which is an 8 kill streak, so that's kind of high. Like some things like the sentry gun, the targeting on the sentry gun is not that great. I put it up in a corner of a room watching a headquarters in Hackney Yard in like a 4x4 room, and it just didn't kill anybody. So it's like, okay, that's cool. Like I said, precision airstrikes, cluster strikes, like unless you happen to drop it on like a flag, like as they are like capping B-Dom or whatever, it's really difficult to get more than 1 or 2 kills with them. UAVs, everybody's starting, we're not at the point of the life cycle where everybody's starting to run Ghost because everyone's tired of the UAV spam. People are advancing in ranks, so they're unlocking other perks. So UAVs are starting to become useless, and people are starting to shoot them down way more often. And you do have other features like, for example, personal radar. It takes 1 less kill and gives only you radar pings, but it doesn't give you like the full like dots like it does on the UAV. So at a glance, it's a little bit more difficult to read, and it's not quite as up to date. Whereas the UAV is a sweep across the entire map. These are individual pings, so they can be different timings, and it's not quite as useful. Same thing with like the shield turret. It's like, place it down, and then you might get shot while you're using it. So it's like, it's not my thing, but I can see it being useful. Then you go up to things like IEVs and Wheelson, which are just, fucking tanks that will drive around and shoot people. They're actually a lot of fun. You get flashbacks like emergency airdrop, where it drops multiple care packages. White phosphorus, that's a sticky topic that I'm not even going to touch on politically, because that's a nightmare. And in game, it's not really that useful. It doesn't really get you that kills, and it covers the map in this like fog that like you can't really see, and everyone starts coughing, and it's just like, it's fine. But I would rather do Chopper Gunner for 10 kills, which Chopper Gunner in this game is actually pretty good. It's not quite as lethal as it was in Modern Warfare 2, but you have more control over the chopper, and a lot more flexibility, so it's better in some ways. Then you get Support Helo, which is like the Pavlov, or the Huey for Modern Warfare 2. And you got your AC-130, your Advanced UAV. Advanced UAV is basically useless because it only lasts for like 25 or like 28 seconds. It's like right under 30 seconds. For a 12 kill streak, that's kind of ridiculous. And then you get the Juggernaut suit, which is equally ridiculous, but in a good way. If you ever got the Juggernaut suit in Modern Warfare 3, then you know it's fucking great. Now, these are kill streaks. These are not score streaks. That's important to note. There is a perk that will give you score values. If you prefer playing that way, cool. Good for you. Go do your thing. I prefer kill streaks. Kill streaks promote a different style of game. I get that. And that's part of the controversy that we're going to talk about. I'm going to wait until we're actually in game to talk about that kind of stuff, so don't worry, it's coming. You have a really cool field upgrade system, which is just like an extra layer of something that you can do. Think of this as like Battlefield 5's class system, where like if you're the medic, you could heal people and revive them. If you're the support guy, you drop ammo, that kind of stuff. You've got a munitions box, which is actually really cool because not only can people restock from it and restock grenades, if you shoot at enemies, it'll explode and you can kill people because people are idiots and they'll throw this down at their feet while camping, and you just shoot the box and then they explode, and it's fantastic. Recon drone will mark people and they show up with an icon. Dead silence is another controversial one. It doesn't actually make you completely silent, but it does make you really quiet, and it's really easy to sneak up on people with this, and if you get more kills, it lasts for longer. Stopping power rounds. People bitched about this, but I think they bitched about it during the beta and just bitched because they saw it back. But ever since the game came out, I have literally seen not a single person complain about stopping power rounds, which proves Infinity Ward's point that it's not OP. You're just complaining because it says the word stopping power, which if they had called it anything else, like maybe if they called it hollow point rounds, people may not have complained, but you know, whatever. I actually don't really find them that useful, but they're there if you want them. You just reload, you get one magazine of extra damage dealing bullets. I've used them once or twice, it didn't really seem to do much, and they ran out way too quick. Might be useful for sniper rifles, actually. I'll need to play with that. Trophy system is my new current favorite hotness because it comes back so quick, and it destroys up to 3 nearby projectiles and like grenades and such. Really useful for like domination at headquarters. Deployable cover is kind of fun too. You can just plop it down and then you've got somewhere you can mount up on. You got something you can crouch behind. Then you've got stuff like tactical insertions to control your spawn points. You've got EMP drones that can destroy. It's basically like an RC plane that you throw and then it lands on a place and disables all electronics. And then you've got weapon drop, which delivers a cache of high-powered weapons. I haven't gotten this yet, unfortunately, so I don't know what the weapons are. If they're like randomly generated, if they're weapons that drop that just do more damage, like I honestly don't know. I just haven't seen it in game yet. So, like I said, my favorite right now is trophy system, but I switch between trophy system, dead silence, and the munitions box depending on what I'm doing. There's also a blueprint system where you can unlock different blueprints of guns, really. Though they will come pre-equipped with a bunch of attachments, some stuff that you may not have. For example, I'm only level 34, but I already have the MP7 unlocked, and it comes with 3 attachments. So that way I can use it early. Won't get any experience because I don't have it unlocked, but I can use the gun. Which is also another point of contention, because if you pre-ordered or bought the game around launch, you got the XRK weapons pack, which came with the M4 that already had some attachments on it, so you could hit the ground running. So I think that's more what people were complaining about, because you just had a gun that you could just use out of the box. You didn't have to grind it. And people just bitched and complained because, MP5 M4 A1 everywhere. But honestly, like, I used the Kilo 141. I hated it at first, but then I used it and got it past like level 6 or 7 or whatever you get the grip. And then as soon as I got the grip and like a better sight, gun became a laser. I fucking love it. There's operators, play as different characters. You unlock these characters by doing different missions. They are not specialists. They do not have different abilities. They are purely visual. You can customize them. So you've got different things. Obviously, you can't see any of this because of the stupid black screen bug. Might revisit that later. You've got things like barracks. Here are my stats. Make fun of me. I suck. I'm an old man now. I can't play Call of Duty like I used to. So please make fun of me down in the comments below. Here we have challenges where you can you get daily challenges. This one's provide 10 ammo resupply, so I just need to equip the ammo crate, throw it down 10 times, and then I get 2,000 XP. Cool. Kill 3 aerials, I'll kill streaks. Kill 3 of them, I get 4,500 experience. Cool. Get 45 kills with pistols, I get 6,000, and I also get a new calling card. So these little gems here, they'll be different colors depending on what's going on, and you will get different things for them. Missions are the cool things. These are where you unlock the blueprints. I've already completed boot camp objective I. That's how I got the Piercer submachine gun. I'm currently working on Warriors Code because I want to get the AK. I need to get 2 public wins. I've already got that one. So I'm currently working on 20 kills with equipment. So I need to get 2 more grenade kills, and then I will unlock the next tier, which according to this, tier 4 is 2,500 XP, and then I get the Atom Bomb calling card. Then I need to capture 20 flags and ground wart. Oh, that's gonna be fun. And then I get 3,000 XP, and then I get a spray. 20 point blank kills, 4,000, and then I get another calling card. You can see how this is scaling. 5 wins in any objective mode, 5,000 XP, get an emblem. 25 kill streak kills, 7,000. Let's ride. I get an animated calling card. 40 kills with secondary. You get the point. Eventually, you get to a point where you finish it out. You get 10,000 XP, and you get this decked out custom gun, which you can use early. And that's why missions are useful. Not only do you get a shit ton of experience, but you get guns out of them. And if you're the kind of person who likes the other stuff, like the stickers and all, go for it. I don't care. It is, however, important to note that as of right now, if you equip a charm on your gun, it like halves your accuracy for some reason. Your hip spread is ridiculous. So as of right now, don't equip any charms, and otherwise you should be good to go. Ranks are pretty consistent, to be honest. It hasn't really been that slow. It is definitely slower than other Call of Duty games I've played. There have been Call of Duty games, I think Black Ops 4, I did this where by the first weekend, I had already maxed out and was like halfway through the first prestige. This game does not have prestiges anymore. Basically, you hit rank 55, you're maxed out, and then there are season ranks. You can then get 100 levels in each season. And that's your ongoing progression, rather. So it still haven't gotten to that point yet, so I can't speak to that. So that'll be fun. Apparently there will be season-specific unlocks. There will be season-specific stuff that you can get. No big deal there. I've talked enough. It's been fucking 40 minutes, and I haven't even played a goddamn round yet. This video might be a little long, as I'm sure you're aware of. There's a lot to talk about. But we're at the point where we can finally fucking play. The reason why there is so much to talk about is just because of how fucking detailed everything is. Everything needs its own little bit of attention. Just making sure that I am on push to talk before I come into this game doing something dumb. Like, for example, here's the little thing. I've unlocked some XP tokens for playing single player. Let me click here. I can activate these. These will give me double XP, double weapon XP, XP token for an hour, you know, whatever. These will still count down while you're in game, or while you're out of game, rather. So if like you're in a menu and you activate it, it's still going to run down, which sucks. And now I'm in a lobby with a bunch of controller players. It's going to be a 3v3. I guess it has to be a 4v4 at least. That sucks. But as you can see from the match compositor, it put me in a game of headquarters. And I think we're finally going to be able to... Yeah, here we go. It's Left 4 Dead Scooter. Why does everybody have that calling card? I don't know what that calling card is. But it's like everybody has it. Except for me. I got the cool demons. Oh, look, it's all the teammates. Oh, I got my little arrow. At least I know which one's me. Okay, with all that said, we're finally going to get to play. So let's play. All right. I think for Azir Cave, let's see the MP5. So this is where things are going to get kind of loud. I'm going to do my best to balance the audio here, but keep in mind that it is designed, I have an audio profile that is designed to be both very loud and also have details on the low end. So if you don't hear footsteps that I hear or anything, I'm sorry, I did my best while mixing. Okay. So it looks like I'm not getting the 60 FPS bug, which is nice. So this game, unfortunately, has a reputation for encouraging camping. Due to that was really dumb, James. I don't know why I did that. The game punishes bad plays like that. Flat out, I'm gonna say that. If you sprint around a corner, you're gonna get fucking mowed down. Of course, there was another guy camping. That's cool. Most people will say play tactically. They are correct. Playing tactically means not sprinting around like I am right now around corners. Which means moving slow, watching your corners, checking to make sure you're not doing something dumb like this guy's doing and just sprinting into a smoke. 3. No effect. Okay, I deserve that one. 4v4. Okay, so this is gonna be a little. This is gonna be a little bit of a slower game, unfortunately. As I'm sure you're noticing, the game is encouraging sight lines. The game is encouraging power spots. The game is encouraging not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And that's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's encouraging a style of Call of Duty that has not been in popularity for some time. People have been used to 3-lane maps where they can run around and get kills that way. Could not see him to save my goddamn life. Where? So he just like perfectly lined up. Okay. See, things like that. I should not have tried to reload while standing in the middle like that. Plays like that, you would have been able to get away with in other Call of Duty games. You cannot get away with that in this game. And a lot of the people are complaining because they are trying to play this like that because that's what they're used to playing now. And unfortunately, you just, you can't do that anymore. Whoop. And then there's a lot of mocking going on in the community now because people will say play tactically, and then they'll go hee hee, okay, I'll just sit in the corner. And unfortunately, that is the other aspect that the slow gameplay encourages, is playing while sitting in a corner. That is not. It's not the most fun way to play. Okay. But I mean, like, if you want to play it that way, that's on you, man. You do your thing. Ah, shit. Okay, I am gonna lose this. Where'd he go? Alright, give me that scar. I don't want to lug around this PKM. It's too slow. Ooh! There we go. Okay. I need to get the fuck out of here because they're going to be coming for me here in a minute. So the maps are designed entirely differently. They are not 3-lane maps. There are sight lines all over the place. You are encouraged to move around. You are encouraged to hold your power positions, to get better lines of sight, to outplay your opponent, and to think, work smarter, not harder. That's the idea here, right? Unfortunately, that does encourage camping, which is, again, it's not the most fun way of playing things. Ah. Okay, let me call this in. I don't know why I'm doing so well today. Usually I'm playing much worse than this, don't worry. Trying to talk and play at the same time is rather challenging. Some of the mechanics, like being able to mount up, really nice for breaching positions, for maintaining your lines of sight, maintaining your dominance on the areas of the map. But unfortunately, it permits camping. Son of a bitch. There we go. Okay. I am like... I'm terrified to move because I'm about to get fucking lit the fuck up. Yep, I am completely out of ammo. Oh, this is bad. Give me your gun. Damn. Wow. 19 and 5. Okay. I'll take that. So, again, I am not camping. I am not sitting in one spot looking down a hallway, pointing my gun at somewhere, and just mowing people down as they walk through a door. I do my best to not play like that. I don't find that fun. If you find that fun, you do you. Doesn't mean you're not going to get made fun of, but at the same time, you know, if you run around like an idiot with your head cut off, you're going to get made fun of. But if that's what you find fun, you do you. This game caters to that. It's designed to cater to that medium in between. Okay.
I see movement.
Come on. Oh god, there is somebody there. His leg was poking through the wall. That's cute. No. Ah, I got shot from behind. That same guy. Okay, I deserve that one. I should have finished the kill. See, that's what I mean about power positions. Now, see, this guy is playing like a loser, so he's just gonna sit up there and try to farm kills. So we need to do our best to flush him out here. 2, 3, 4, boom, overshot. Cool. Oh man, you're gonna get into fights like that where you just absolutely cannot see anything and you just have to shoot. Okay. I don't think there's anybody there. Oh, now there is. I panicked. There was too many people there to pick targets from and I panicked.
I see movement.
Okay, where are you coming from? I was hoping I could work my way around that truck, and it just didn't work out that way. So that's actually another great example. You cannot play this game fast, because if you do things like that, you try to sprint around, you're gonna have a bad time. There we go. Gimme. Where did it go? Okay, P90, I'll take it. No, actually. Couldn't hit that last bullet. Could not hit that last bullet. That was unfortunate. Oop. See, I almost lost that one because I was sprinting, but fortunately he did not notice me. All right, let me see if I can target the opening of this cave here. See if I can get somebody with that. I doubt that I will. But let's see. That, as I don't follow my own rules and immediately get gunned down for it. Oh, he had the Mark II. Wow, okay. Good shot, guy. All right, at this point, I think we can talk a little bit more about the other components of the game. Hit detection itself is great. I have not had any issues of shooting at people and not getting hits. What I do have a problem with is there being some really gnarly, aggressive interpolation in the game. And oh, I deserve that. I deserve that 100%. There's some really gnarly interpolation. It comes across in like where you'll watch a kill cam and somebody will see you for like 10 seconds before you see them. Why did I not get play of the game? This game sucks. Oh, I want a refund. 27-11. Okay, not awful. I made some bad plays there, and if I hadn't made those bad plays, I'd probably be way higher, but that's okay. Yay, now we can see it. Game does not keep you in the same lobby. It will just put you back into matchmaking again, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. I understand why they do it on a psychological level, but it's kind of disappointing because I do like those old school like rivalries that would kind of form match to match, So you could stick around, get a rematch against people who were talking shit, and then you can shit on them the next round. It's a lot of fun. Fortunately, just can't do that this game. I'm actually gonna back out now that we have access to Gunsmith and everything. So that's a really brief example of the meta of Modern Warfare. I really like this meta. That was a good game for me. You guys saw my stats. I'm not great. I make dumb decisions all the time. So do a lot of the community. People make dumb decisions all the time. They get punished for it, and they like to blame the game. The big ticket right now is blaming skill-based matchmaking, where people are being dumb enough to say that after one game, they went from a lobby where they got like a 5 KD and were just shitting on people to like barely able to pull even in the next round. I'm not going to speak to if there is skill-based matchmaking in the game. I believe Infinity Ward said that there wasn't going to be, but that may have been Black Ops 4, so I'm not going to say 100% definitely they did not say that it was going to be there, because they haven't said anything in the last few days, and if they haven't said anything, that kind of tells me that it is there, and they're, because if it wasn't there, they on day one, they'd be like, hey, not there, you guys are idiots. But, you know. So yeah, people will blame they'll blame the skill-based matchmaking, they'll blame lag, they'll blame stupid M4 sweats, like how goddamn every game's so sweaty, like just fucking get used to it, dude. Unfortunately, you're gonna get people that try whenever you play video games. I notice it a lot too. I'll get the people, like I'm sure you saw last round where there were some people who were just like trying like super hard, like on that first headquarters where there was like the two people laying in opposite corners just trying their best to game the system. Yeah, that was cheese, and it was bad. Well, I say it was bad. The play was bad because they just laid there and let people kill them, because I killed the first dude without like even knowing that he was actually there, just because it's such an obvious camping spot. And then the other guy did get me, yes, but he was immediately gunned down by one of my teammates. So not the best play. Guarantee you that they were sitting there. They're going to go on the subreddit later and be like, brr, 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 kill streaks unbalanced. Brr, brr, brr. Yeah. If you're going to play this game, try to stay away from the community and just do what makes you have fun. But also keep in mind that if you keep doing something that results in you dying, and you keep doing it over and over and over again, and you get frustrated and you do nothing to change that, that is the actual definition of insanity. Doing the same action over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Just keep that in mind. That is why I have all these different all these different classes. They are all different use cases. They all hit different niches. Excuse me. MP5 is my, I guess if you would call it, it's my sweat class. It's got a suppressor. MP5, considered one of the best guns in the game. It's got the 10 millimeter ammo extension change. I've got cold-blooded. I've got ghost. I've got battle hardened. It's my sweat class. I've got my meme class with the riot shield on my back. That like I'm not gonna fucking kill anybody with this. It's just kind of there. In fact, actually, I think I'm gonna replace the M4 with another gun. Let's do that in a second. I've got my 1-for-1 that I really like. This is the actual assault rifle that I use. I've got my Kar 98K, which I just unlocked, which is a lot of goddamn fun. Holy shit. And I've also got the AUG as a secondary. And then I've got my sawed-off shotgun with a suppressor on it, which, again, is a meme class because it's got cold-blooded, ghost, shrapnel, claymore, smoke grenades. Like, this is just designed to piss people off who camp. It's like, I don't even know where to begin with this. Let's just move on, because I'm just going to sit here and rant more. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pick a weapon, and I'm going to show you how the gunsmith works. So we've got different categories: assault rifle, SMG, shotgun, LMG, marksman, sniper, and melee weapons. Assault rifles are self-explanatory, typically 32 round magazines, fully auto, or burst fire, or single fire. A lot of them will have toggles between all three of them. Some are just one. So FAL is single fire only. You might be able to unlock some attachments to change that. I don't have them unlocked yet. I'm only level 7 with it. You got guns like the FAMAS, or what this game calls the FR556. That is a 3-round burst. This 3-round burst is incredibly deadly. If you hit all 3 bullets, you just one burst people and they drop, and it's great and it's very satisfying. But the punishment there is that if you don't hit all 3 bullets, they don't drop in the one burst, and the delay is long enough to where if the person is paying attention, they will kill you. Now, if you catch somebody off guard and you one burst and miss one of the bullets, you can follow up with another burst and kill them still easily enough to where the gun's not useless. You've got guns like the Odin, which are really heavy-hitting, hard-hitting assault rifle, but it fires so slowly, so it balances it that way. You've got guns, fan favorites like the Scar, little high recoil, but high caliber, large caliber. Same thing with the AK, high recoil, large caliber. And these guns can also all be converted to different styles and different niches in the meta. Like, for example, for the AK, you can convert it to an SMG with a shorter barrel. You can convert it to an RPK with a longer barrel and different ammunition. You can do different stocks to make it lighter to aim down sights. You could do different, like the different barrel lengths will make it more accurate, so you can kind of turn it into like a really like ghetto DMR. You can do all kinds of crazy shit. Like I spoke about how on the MP5 here, it normally it's a 9mm submachine gun. I have a 10mm conversion kit, so it does a slight bit more damage. Granted, the trade-off to that is that I can't equip an extended mag. And it also, because of the bigger ammo, it's heavier. So I aim down sight slower. I move around slower. There's always a plus and minus to each system. I think for this, I'm going to... Oh, I don't have it unlocked. I was going to do the PP Bison. I think for this, just to show how crazy it can get, I'm going to pick one that I already have a lot of experience in. So let's do... Actually, no, you know what? We're going to go to a created class because that... Or, I'm sorry, the private match to do created class there because that will give me access to everything. So I've already built some classes here where you can see I've got some attachments and some pretty crazy stuff. We're going to pick... Let's just do this one. Okay. So let's pick the... Let's pick the AUG here. Okay. So as far as attachments go, you've got a bunch of different categories: muzzle, barrel, laser, optic, stock, perk, rear grip, ammunition, and underbarrel. Perks are self-explanatory. They're much like actual perks, except that it's just a perk for the gun. It doesn't physically change anything, it just makes something different. So better bullet penetration. Melees are greater stun. You can see nameplates from longer distances. When you hit somebody with your bullets, their healing is very slightly delayed. Very useful. Sleight of hand, reload faster, fully loaded, maximum reserve ammo. You get the point. This one also has a burst perk, which changes it to a 3-round burst. That would be really interesting on the AUG, actually. Rear grip. You've got different kind of grips. These do different things. Aiming stability and aim walking steadiness. So the gun doesn't bounce around when you walk as much. The gun doesn't sway as much when you're aiming. Recoil control helps you, control the recoil a little bit more. This makes you aim down sight faster, and also when you're sprinting to pulling the trigger, that pull down speed is faster. And these all balance against one another. So let's see, you can do the 9mm, you can extend that to 32 rounds, or you can do an ammo conversion, 5.56, and you can do 30 or 60 rounds. Now, obviously, more ammo sounds great. Why would you not want that? You've got more damage, you've got more range, and you've got a shit ton of ammo that you can just throw at people. Well, unfortunately, that's going to make the gun handle like shit. You're going to move so much slower. You're going to pull the sight up to your eyes so much slower. It's going to be a lot harder to control your recoil while you're aiming because the gun, the 5.56 round has, it's got more, it's got a bigger. It's got a bigger report when it fires, so a bigger gas explosion, bigger. It's more impactful. I'm having a stroke and I can't use my words right now. I'm sorry, guys. Muzzles. You've got things like breacher devices, one-hit melees, and it makes the melee faster. You've got tactical suppressor, so that sound suppression. But you've also got things like monolithic suppressors, which is sound suppression, and it increases your damage range, so you do a little bit more damage. But it makes your aim down sight slower because it's a heavier thing that you're putting on the end. Muzzle brake, way better recoil. Compensator, same thing. Recoil control versus recoil stabilization. Lightweight suppressor. This one only decreases damage range, no weight penalty. You've got different things that fit different requirements. You can turn the AUG from an SMG into a fucking full-fledged assault rifle and go to town with it. Or you can take something like, let's say the AK here, and then we go to gunsmith, and then like, we're gonna throw, let's see, I don't really know what a lot of these do because I haven't unlocked them all a lot yet. Recoil control and hip fire accuracy or aiming stability. We're gonna do aiming stability. We're gonna change this to a 75 round drum mag. We're going to, all right, we'll do that. Barrel, actually, that's what I want. So let's see, so let's do the RPK barrel. Let's actually turn this into an LMG. No laser. We're gonna give it a sight because we're turning this into an LMG, so I might as well. Let's give it the hybrid because we can switch between close and far away. Should we do a lightweight or should we do a muzzle? Let's do a muzzle, actually. And then let's make it so that way we have... Oh, okay. So if we do this, we get sound suppression and better damage range. Let's do that. So there you go. Just like that. You turn to the AK-47, which is a slow, heavy-hitting assault rifle, into an even slower light machine gun. But this one also is capable of doing up close combat because it still has its spaces as an assault rifle. You've got the integral hybrid, so you can switch between the scoped distance and the up close aiming. You've got the muzzles and the barrel that increase damage ranges, so it's more viable for long range combat. Like the gunsmith system is so fucking cool. It's really, 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 really nice to have. And I'm really looking forward to how the meta changes as people unlock more guns and unlock more things they can do with them. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you noticed, a lot of my guns don't have a lot of stuff yet. Really, the only ones I have a lot of stuff for are the Kilo and the MP5. And in fact, I've actually unlocked some new stuff. I like the GI Mini Reflex. Canted Hybrid. Huh. Okay, yeah, let's give that a shot. But yeah, like I can do 45 round mag, or I can do 10 millimeter. Something that I do like about the game that the game does, it doesn't tell you what's coming next until you get closer in level to it. Like I can see these are level 39, 55, but there's obviously going to be more ammo types in these too. There's obviously, well, they tell me the perks. They tell me some stocks. Maybe they do tell you everything now, because it doesn't early on. Yeah, I guess I hit a certain level where it just kind of shows me everything. Okay, that's fair. But like early on, like let me pick this, a gun that I don't have like anything for. It only shows me muzzle, trigger action, and perk. Doesn't show me sights. It doesn't show me like if I can do extended barrels or anything like that. But in the categories that I have unlocked, I can see everything. You know, so that's kind of cool. And some of them are just classified. I can see the level, can't actually see what I'm going to unlock. I like that too. It adds a little bit of mystery to everything. And the last thing I want to talk about in the gunsmith is the camouflage and the customization system. So there's all kinds of different categories of challenges now that unlock the higher up in the levels you go. And these are gun levels, not person levels. So item unlocked at level 57. That's weapon level 57. Because as you can see, my MP5 is what, level 35? Yeah, it's level 35. So in 2 weapon levels, I'll unlock Tiger, which is a different set of challenges for different sets of camo. Spray paint camos or just get kills. So I have 304 kills out of 400, and then if I get 400, I'll unlock this kind of blue camo, which doesn't actually look that bad. That looks bad. But 500, I get that. These are kind of the basic challenge. That's why they get unlocked first. Then you get Woodland. Woodland is a little bit more complicated. They actually look a little bit nicer too. But as you get into them, you can see killers with headshots. So I've only gotten 35 headshots. I suck. I'm sorry. But see, these look like they're a little bit more detailed. They look a little cooler, in my opinion. Then you get into digital. Digital is getting kills while crouched. I don't typically crouch. I should try 2 more just so I can unlock these. These look pretty freaking dope, if you ask me. Especially like these latter ones, like starting with the blue one onward. They look really cool. Then you get into dragon. Dragons are my favorite so far. Like, look at these patterns. They're out there. They're different. They're crazy. They're like scales. That's hence why they're called dragon. These ones are hip fire kills. That one just looks obnoxious. I'm not going to do that one. Do I like the more subtle ones? Like, I really like the color on this one. This one looks nice. I'm rocking this one right now, though. Splinter. I just unlocked a new one here. Icebreaker. That one's okay. These are okay. Long shot kills. Okay. Now, oh, that autumn one. That looks great. I love that little splash of orange. Topographical maps. These are just interesting. These are cool. I don't mount very often. I try not to. Like I said, I try not to be that guy. But you can get kills by doing that, or get camos by doing that. And then I don't know what the others are because I haven't unlocked them yet. That will keep you going for a very long time because again, you don't have prestige where you're resetting every round. There's a lot of content here to keep you going. Even things like the reticule customization is better than you've ever seen it before because usually it's just like the dot in the middle and you can change the color and maybe do like instead of a circle make it a triangle. And then that's basically it. But no, this is like the kind of light that you would get on the L86. If you remember that from Modern Warfare 2, it's that kind of British scope. You've got different sight lines, you've got different styles, you got different colors, you've got different everything. Now these are universal. So in order for me to, because this is the first time I've ever used the flip hybrid. Apparently not. I got one kill with one, but whatever. May not have realized it. So if I unlock, like, let's say that the 200 kills here for the flip hybrid, I will get that across all flip hybrids, not just on the MP5. So that's a nice touch. We talked about reticules. We talked about charms. Please, Lord God, don't equip any charms. And then stickers. You can equip 3 different stickers in 3 different places. I only had the 1 sticker, but let's put it on the magazine. There you go. Cool. Now I'm customized. And it shows, for some reason it doesn't show on the main screen here. Well, now it does show. It wasn't showing the other day. So I wonder if that was a bug and they finally fixed that. Okay, well, that makes sense. I'll be quiet now. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about the gunsmith? I think that was everything. Let's run through all of the different weapons. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 6 fully auto and also single shot capable weapons. You've got 1 semi-auto assault rifle and 1 burst assault rifle, and the Odin, which fires slower, so it might as well be a semi-auto in terms of how you pace your shots. SMGs are basically all fully auto. They all are fully auto, actually, which is varying RPMs and different characteristics. AUG is very lightweight, doesn't have a lot of recoil, but doesn't have a lot of damage output. Same thing with the P90, and then it kind of goes up from there. I really, really, really liked the MP7 in the beta. Thing melted. It was ridiculous. I played a game or two with the Armory one, but I don't want to use it too much. I'm kind of saving that because I have other guns that I could be using. So I might as well save that for when I can get experience for it and get experience on the other guns in the meantime. Shotguns are really nice. They got a nice buff. I haven't used a whole lot of them that much, but the double barrel is kind of ridiculous now. And so is this one right here, which is kind of like the KSG, but it's a double barrel KSG. So you pull the trigger twice and then he pumps. Really cool. Haven't spent a whole lot of time with the pump action or the Origin. Shotguns aren't really my thing. I'm more worried about assault rifles and SMGs right now. Light machine guns feel really nice too. They are heavy, they are slow, they're designed for suppression, they are not designed for running and gunning. They are not like these cater more towards the camper style, if you will, where you're trying to hold down lines of sight, like you're the guy who's trying to oppress the snipers on the bridge on the bridge map. You're not the guy running around trying to get all the kills, which is great because you've got ammo, and if you do your suppression right, you will be the guy who gets kills. You will be the guy who sits back and calls kill streaks, just as long as you're not the guy sitting in like a corner of a room trying to hit people through a window, in which case you're not going to get shit. SA-87, a little different, doesn't have a belt. It is a bullpup. It's basically the L96 from Modern Warfare 2. This is just its LMG version. It's designed like it's weird because it fires 5.56, but they're treating it like an LMG because it's got a heavy barrel, and it's in real life it's more of an LMG than it is a assault rifle, but like that's not really relevant to video games. M91 is really nice too. I used it a lot in the beta. I used it once here before I unlocked it, and it was okay. I just haven't spent a lot of time with it. because the LMGs are an entirely different thing. Right now, I am just trying to focus on getting these leveled up, and then we can worry about the other stuff later. Marksman rifles. These are a really touchy subject. I really like the Mark II carbine. I really like the Kar 98K. These fill that niche in between an assault rifle and a sniper rifle, where sniper rifles are like really geared towards that precision one-shot kill kind of thing. The marksman rifles are designed to still have the mobility of an assault rifle, but still have that precision capability. So things like the Mark II carbine, the Kar 90K, these can all one-shot if you hit the right areas, but they have severe downsides. They don't have sniper scopes, so the range isn't quite as good. Their ammo capacity is pretty crap. They usually have lower reload times. Their cycle times are usually pretty low. Their fire rates are usually pretty low. Guns like the M14 here, if you get shot with it, your flinch is way higher than other guns. Trade-offs like that make it fill a specific niche, but prevent them from being too powerful. Some things like the M14, it's for me it's unusable. The flinch is just ridiculous. Like I can't aim with it. And the Mark II carbine is really inconsistent with its kill radius. Kar 98K is you either get the kill, you don't. And I actually really like the Kar 98K for that. The snipers feel really good too. The HDR is your good bolt action. The AX50 is the one that was in the beta, and it's just so good. But you don't get that until way late in your level curve. Like I'm about to unlock it here, and I'm way more than halfway. Dragunov feels really nice. It's designed for quick. You're not going to get very many one-shot kills. I got a collateral with the Dragunov, which was the weirdest thing ever, but shit happens. These are going to be your two-shot follow-ups. These are more just designed for quick peppering. It's not really designed for your rapid one-shot kills like the HDR or the AX50 are. And then you've got melee, so riot shields. It's got a flash on it. You can blind people with it, I guess. I don't know. Haven't used it. Haven't unlocked anything yet for it. Pistols. You've got 3 standard pistols, I guess. You got 3 standard pistols and 2 high damage pistols. These are designed to the clip loading pistols are designed to fire a lot more rapidly, have less damage. And then you've got the revolver and the deagle, which are designed to be your hand cannons that are a lot heavier. They handle a lot worse, but they will drop people left and right if you use them correctly. Launchers, you've got lock-on launchers, you got free fire launchers, you've got the javelin, which I fucking love. I love that they brought this back. You got dumbfire ones like the RPG, and you've also got the combat knife, which enables one-shot kills. That was a lot of talking. I've still only played one game, and we're an hour and 15 minutes into this video. Let's play another game. This round, I think I'm going to go with the Kar 98K. So let's play a little bit of, you know what? No, we're going to go into Ground War. Just so I can show you guys the difference there, because I don't know how long this is going to be, and I really don't want this to go too much longer. Let's see. Oh, I unlocked something new. What did I unlock? Paid the price. Oh, is that just I beat campaign? Is that what it is? I don't know. I guess I did have it unlocked. Don't really care. What's new? Oh, Atom Bomb. I did unlock Atom Bomb. Yay! Okay, so what's my mission now? Challenges. Here we go. Missions. Didn't get to see it in time. Cool. That's fine. So this is the Ground War map that was in the beta. It's all fine. It is loud. Wow. So let's load up the car. Now I don't have a scope for this, so I can't sit back on the hill or anything. I'm gonna spawn on C. Some of the spawns they have definitely changed since the beta, and some of them are really bad. Okay. There is a definite problem with spawn trapping. Can I spawn, please? Thank you. Like, see, I spawned way the fuck over here. Like, nowhere near... I guess I'm 50 meters. That's near, but... Oh, God. Okay. Doop. Let's see... Ground War plays entirely different than, like, your standard multiplayer game does. There's nobody there, James. Good job. You know, screw you guys. There's 5 domination flags, 32 players per side. Wow, that was cool. Ooh, I saw your name tag. Come on, pop back out. Okay, I really don't like camping, but gotta cap the point. Oh, that felt so good. Yeah. I knew that was coming. Ooh, guy knew I was there too. He was just waiting for it. Because there's so many players and because the map is so vertical, you really have to watch your sight lines. You have to play this a lot more like Battlefield than you do Call of Duty. Because the spawn points are so crazy and you can spawn... I deserve that one because I was sprinting. Because you can spawn on teammates. You can do, you know, the more aggressive plays like that. Wow, we are, like, capping these dudes. There is a feature where if you hold all flags for... it was originally 30 seconds, now it's 45 seconds. But if you hold all the flags, it will drop a nuke and end the game. So that's cool. There's just so much that I want to talk about, and I'm just not going to get it done in an hour and a half video. Like, I'm sorry for spending most of the time talking and not a whole lot of time playing, but this series isn't really designed around just watching somebody play something. It's designed around the information and if this is something you should buy. And I'm sorry if you just want to watch me sit here and poop on kids, because that is not the intention of this. Nope, somebody dropped the white phosphorus, so this is what it looks like. It burns people, you know, it's really hard to see. It's more obnoxious than anything else. I wish I played more Ground War, so I like knew all of the sight lines and everything, where to aim for certain things. Ooh, B is getting attacked. I will go defend B. I will be credit to team. Oh, it's already done. I didn't even get there in time. I don't even know, where the fuck do I go? You see what I mean about how like I'm bad at this game? Ooh, hello. Nope, you're friendly. Okay. That's a sniper. There is bullet drop, so you've got to lead your shots a little bit. Way easier with sniper scopes, obviously. But you don't typically have to lead unless you're at really long lines of sight, like you would be in a game like this. No, 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 no. Okay, we're good. No, 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 please. Don't do it. I'm a virgin. Why did they cap D? Like, why? Like, of all the points, why D? Probably because it was the one we cared the least about. Who is shooting at me? It is rude. Sir, please stop. I'm trying to talk about video games, and you are making it difficult. I guess we can talk about some more superficial stuff now, because we've talked about game meta. We've talked about how the community is fucking rioting against Infinity Ward right now. We've talked about kill streak design. We've talked about weapon design. Should you buy this game? That is a really difficult question to answer because of everything that is at play here. Obviously, a lot of the community feels very split about this game. I like it. It's a good version of Battlefield. It is a return to form for older... Ooh, okay. Yeah, I got lit up by the tank. Okay. It is a return to form for the old Infinity Ward style games. If you liked those, if you liked Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, you're going to feel at home here. If you're looking for the Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, the Sledgehammer games style games, you're gonna feel a little left out unless you change how you play. And I'm not telling you to camp, because you don't need to camp in order to have fun with this game. It runs well. I have a 1080 and a 3700X, as you can see in the corner. I've kept my performance metrics up. It is important to remember that I am recording, so that's why everything is constantly pinned, but you know, it's not a big deal. Even with me recording with every single graphic setting matched out, I'm getting well over 100 FPS. It runs well. And if you drop the graphic settings, it runs even better. I can run this game at 5760 by 1080 with a lot of the graphic settings dropped, and I'm still getting 100 FPS. So, no issues there. But there are some CPU issues. Some people are having issues with CPU usage utilization. Some people are getting some really weird bugs where normal maps are rendering instead of actual colored textures. People are getting crashes. For the longest time, Xbox One X users were crashing like every 5 minutes. There are some issues where challenges won't earn until you reboot the game. I've had some weird bugs with alt-tabbing, like I said earlier. You saw the bug with the black screen earlier. It is not a flawless experience by any stretch of the imagination. It is not flawless. Nor will there ever be a flawless Call of Duty game. So if you go into this thinking this is going to be perfect, you're going to be disappointed. If you go into it looking for a modern revival of the older Call of Duty games, you're going to have fun. If you go into it expecting to rush all the time and to have like 1 or 2 lines of sight for you to watch so that way you can get your high kill streaks, you're going to be disappointed. If you play this expecting to sit in the corner with your claymores, I don't want to say you'll be disappointed. You might feel right at home with your playstyle. But as I showed in my first game, there is a middle ground. There is a difference between sprinting around like a person who just broke out of an insane asylum and a person pitching a tent. And I feel like the community needs to find that middle ground, and when they do, a lot of people will be happy. That's one reason why I'm making this video. The other reason is because I like making these long-form videos where I deep dive on stuff. Again, I absolutely did not, and I cannot go into every single feature or detail. I'd love to show you realism. I'd love to show you night vision. I'd love to show you gunfight. But as we only played 2 games, and I'm already an hour and a half in, and I need to stop because it's just been too long. Bottom line is, if you like Call of Duty, you like Battlefield, you're a PC player, it's not a bad pickup. I am thoroughly enjoying myself. I am having a lot of fun. If you are not able to divorce yourself from that Black Ops 2, 3, 4, Advanced Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, World War 2, I can't speak, style of gameplay, you're going to have a hard time adjusting. If you can divorce yourself from that, you'll adjust and you'll be fine. And I think you'll have fun. Campaign, even if you're not a big campaign person, give this campaign a shot. There will be a separate video about that, as well as Spec Ops. I'm talking about that stuff in a few weeks. Crossplay is great. During the beta, I played with a friend on PS4 who was playing mouse and keyboard, and I was playing mouse and keyboard on my PC, and then we had somebody else join who I think was using a gamepad. I'm not 100% sure. Don't really remember anymore. But we were all in one lobby playing with one another and just having fun. And it's great. This is such an amazing step forward for graphics fidelity, for a PC port, like how PC should be treated, for crossplay. These are some great groundbreaking stuff. And yeah, there are some issues with the game. It's a little slow. There's a huge camping problem. There's a lot of bugs. There's a lot of little polish issues. Some things are just arguably unbalanced. I'm not going to say that the MP5 and the M4A1 are unbalanced weapons, because I don't think they are. But there are other stuff like, obviously, dead silence doesn't make you completely silent. The way that the operators are calling out. I had a great example in this video where if the person was paying attention, they would have heard my operator yelling "contact" as he ran through the smoke. Obviously he didn't, so I was able to kill him, but if he was paying attention, he could have heard that, turned around and killed me. There's a lot of contention about that. If those things bother you, fuck off. But if you're able to look past it, and if you enjoy those things, you're gonna be right at home. It's a really, really, really wordy answer to a question that doesn't have an answer. So if anything that I've shown you looks fun or enjoyable or something that you want to partake in, give it a shot. I guarantee you, if you have that mindset, you will have fun. If you have the mindset of it's Call of Duty and I want to poop on people, take your elitism somewhere else. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I apologize for the rambly bastard of a video that this turned into, but I hope that you guys learned something. I hope that I was able to answer some questions. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk about this, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. I'll be more than happy to test things that you want me to test, and I'll be more than happy just to tell you about my experience with the game. But with all that said, guys, I want to say thank you. And I hope you guys have fun. I was going to say on the battlefield, but that feels a little disingenuous saying that with a Call of Duty game. But I hope you guys have fun regardless of whether you're playing tactically and checking your corners, or if you're running around, or if you're sitting in a corner. As long as you are having fun and you're playing a game that lets you have fun, then I hope you enjoy yourself.